Something else new tonight, new beginnings for one of the largest historic landmarks in our area. 10 years after the Army moved out, the Fort Monroe Authority wants more people and business to move in. 10 of your side's Brett Hall shows us what could be the beginning of the largest change on the property in more than a century. Brett?
Tom, more than 300,000 square feet of space is being offered up for redevelopment. To put that in perspective, that's almost about as much as the IKEA that was built in Norfolk a couple years ago. We're talking a lot of space. However, the difference here is that most of these buildings are historic and they need to stay that way. No matter your vantage point, good views are hard to miss at Fort Monroe. For much of the last decade, we've been able to experience more of them as the publicly funded Fort Monroe Authority continues to take ownership of all the buildings and land long used by the U.S. Army, trying its best to keep them presentable after standing more than a century facing exposure from salty seas.
This is a long time coming.
But moving forward, Executive Director Glenn Oder says the authority finds it best for someone else to do that.
I'm very excited about this.
They've recently released a request for developers to submit proposals on how they can renovate and reuse 13 historical buildings, most of which sit vacant.
We want to make an opportunity for small businesses as well as larger companies to come to Fort Monroe.
Buildings like the Provost Marshal office, built in 1932, he envisions this could be anything from offices to a hotel and restaurant.
There's lots of possibilities for this.
Down the street, more than 100-year-old warehouses can provide much-needed storage space. Oder says much is on the table, as long as it doesn't disrupt the historic nature of the community.
We're not doing anything with the residential properties. The residential properties will remain under the responsibility of the Fort Monroe Authority, and we'll continue to manage those just like we have.
The proposals are due February 1st. Oder hoping ultimately to see Fort Monroe as a destination more people want to visit. Now, Fort Monroe isn't selling any of the property. It would all be leased to the developers. And this isn't the first time this has happened. Actually, earlier this year, we told you about how there was an agreement struck for developers out in Smithfield, the owners of Smithfield Station, to redevelop the Port Comfort Marina. And that is now moving forward. We're live in the newsroom. Brett Hall, 10 on your side.
Thank you, Brett. Now